Okay, hello everybody, and today uh, we're continuing ranking every single BFGI episode as of Teapot 1. And yeah, before we start, I'd just like to say you're currently watching the second part of a three-part series. You don't need to watch the first two parts to understand this one, but maybe, well, you do have to watch like maybe the first 2.5 minutes. But if you don't want to go back and watch that, um, here are three things you have to know. One, I'm ranking every single episode, so to celebrate the 12-year anniversary of BFDI. Two, in the last part we rated every single BFDI episode, and three, in this part we will be ranking BFDI 1 to BFB 16. And yeah, I kind of have nothing else to say, so let's get started. Um, One thing I do want to mention is I have added B minus tier. These are for episodes that aren't bad enough to be in C tier, but aren't good enough to be in B tier, so I'm putting them there. Um, but yeah, kind of have nothing else to say. So yeah, let's get started. First you have BFGA 1, and personally, I really do not like this. I mean, it's just like it's a okay. If you okay, there's one problem I have with it is about it, and that's okay. The one problem I have with this episode is that there's so much filler in it. Like I'd say like around 4.5 minutes of this episode is like actual interesting parts, and the rest is just filler out of this 7.5 minute episode. Like like if it weren't for the filler, I'd say this could be just as good as a BFDI one. But it's just that there's too much filler for me in this episode. BFDI 2 Get Digging. I mean, it's not insanely better than this, but I'd say it's good enough to be in C tier above BFDI 7, 3, and 4. Um, I mean, we got to see the Evil Forest, which was cool, but I mean, there wasn't that much to say about this episode. Uh, Insectophile's Nightmare 3. Uh, Personally, I'm not a big fan of the Insectophobes Nightmare episodes. Like, both uh, Insectophobes Nightmare episodes are currently in C tier, and this episode is no different. Like, personally, I just don't like the bugs in BFDI. They kind of freak me out, and yeah, also, I didn't really like Team No Name in this episode. I mean, I really like that we're getting to see more of the Alliance and BFDI 2 and 3, but I really do not like them here because they literally did not do the challenge and nobody did anything about it, which I didn't really like. Um, I'm gonna put it right here though. Yeah, I guess that's fair. Uh, BFDI 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 4. Uh, I forgot what it's called. Um, First, I don't really like this episode either. I mean, I'd say out of the first four BFDIA episodes, this is probably the best. Probably because, well, I don't think it has that much filler, but it's still pretty boring. Um, okay, but I must say, after BFDIA 4, the episodes really start to get better. Or like, personally, I'd say BFDIA 5A Get in the Van is an A-tier episode. Like I really like it. I mean, I like that the challenge is a race, and we get to see more of the teams. And I really like that BFGIA 5 is a very long episode because I just like that we get to see more of the characters in this. Uh, 5C is also gonna get an A above BFJ 5A. I also like this episode too. Like I know it's pretty short, but it's good. It's good. But I must say BFGIA 5D and 5E aren't that good. Like like a good portion of 5D is literally just the Team Phrasmark going into the water, and there isn't any voice acting in it. It just gets really boring to watch. But I'd say it's below Return of the Hang Glider. 5E, I'd say it's only slightly better than 5D because they're both kind of similar. It's cool that we got to see Yoyland for the first time, but I'm just gonna put it at the top of B tier. Uh, but yeah, we're done with the BFDIA now. Anyway, now we have IDFB. Uh, I really like IDFB. It's pretty good. I like the characters aren't competing. We just like get to see them hanging out. That's nice to watch. Personally, I really would have preferred if IDFB wasn't like isn't on a high wasn't on a hiatus. But yeah, I really like IDFB one, and I can't wait for IDFB two if it ever gets made. Anyway, next we have this, and a person I don't really like BFGI one. I mean BFB one. It's it's kind of boring. Also, it's very long. Like this episode is 28 minutes. Personally, I really think they could have made this episode shorter, like maybe 20 minutes at most. But this episode is just really long and has lots of filler. Also, I really did not like 4 and X in the first 10 episodes. Like they just seem very random and just do things for the sole purpose of doing them. It's just very boring to watch, and yeah, I don't really like BF early BFB. Uh, BFB two, I will say it's better, but not by much. Better than BFB one, but not by much. I mean, I don't know what to say about it. BFB three, maybe eight. I mean, I like it a lot more than BFB two, so I'll put it there for now. Like, I mean, BFB three. Why would you do this on a swing set? It kind of has the same problem as BFB one and two have, but it's a lot more interesting because it has lots of better parts. Like, it kind of starts off the whole arc on Team Eight names at once, and also Donut's speech was in this episode, and I really like it. Uh, episode four. Um, I really didn't like episode four of BFB. I'd say it's only better than episode one. Like it's really boring. BF. Okay, I know this is kind of an unpopular opinion, but I like BF. I like BFB five. I'd say it's better than BFB three. Like okay, I know that the only like that half of the episode is just the elimination, but I really like it. We got to see more of Lai's backstory, and personally, I really like the elimination BFB five. Uh, I just really like long eliminations in object shows because usually they're pretty interesting. Uh, BFB six four goes too far. I'd say like after episode six, the episodes start to get a bit better. and we start to see more A tier episodes. Like I'm gonna put episode 6 right here. I mean, um, I like episode 6. Like I like that it introduces Donut as the host. I really like it when Donut was the host of BFB. It was very interesting to watch, and personally I really like that 4 is gone. Uh, episode 7. Uh, I'll put it right here. I'll put it right here. Like I really like this episode, but I don't think it's good enough to be any higher. I mean, okay, um, Loser's speech at the end of this episode actually made me cry. And when I was first rewatching this episode to do this video, like that part was really heart touching. I really like that part of BFB7. Um, Also, it's pretty interesting because Loser was eliminated in this episode, and we got to see what the cast was doing with the most popular character in that universe, Gone. That was pretty interesting. Uh, BFB 8. Uh, I'd say out of the first 8 episodes, this is pretty much middle of the pack. I don't think it's good enough to be an 8 here, so I'm gonna put it at the top of B. Uh, BFB 9, this episode is all about basketball. Um, I'd say it's better than BFB BFB 8, 10. Okay, I'm sorry that I'm not explaining too much, but I promise after after this, I'm gonna start talking more about the episodes. Anyway, BFB 10. It's kind of cool that we got this that 4 came back, but I'd say it's only the third best out of the first 10 episodes. Okay. I'd say after BFB 10, that this is where things start to get interesting. First, we have BFB 11 get to the top in 500 steps, and I'm gonna put this episode here. Actually, I'll put it above BFB 5A, and I'll move this down here because although this episode is pretty good, I don't think it's good enough to be above these three. And this episode, yeah, I really like it. If I'm gonna be completely honest, like the whole arc between Match and Bubble ended, and personally, I like that Four was back hosting. Also, this is the episode where the rejoiner was revealed, and that was interesting that we got to see Leafy interact with the losers. Next we have episode 12, and personally, I'd say for a 2 month break between VFB 11 and 12, this was pretty good. Like, the challenge was pretty interesting. But yeah, I like it. I like it. I don't know what else to say about it. I genuinely don't. Next we have BFB 13. Uh, okay, I know everyone says this is like the best episode, but I don't think it can get any higher than this. Like this was pretty interesting episode. Like we got to see more of the Team Bleh, and we're nearing the end of the whole Taco and Book arc. Um, but one problem I have with this episode is how much filler is in this episode. Like a good portion of this episode is just recommended characters. And this is really boring to see. Uh, BFB BFB 14. I'd say it's better than episode 13, but it's not by much. Like it also has some of the same problems as BFB 13, but I just say it's slightly better. I'll even put it above episode 12. Uh, BFB 15, without a doubt, is my favorite pre-split episode of BFB. Like, there's just so much that happened in this episode. Like, this is the episode before the taco before the end of the whole taco and book arc. This episode restarted the Fire and Leafy arc. Like, there's so much happened in this episode that it would just wouldn't make wouldn't make sense for me to not put this in S. Um, Next we have uh BFB 16. Uh, I know a lot of people don't like the split and don't like BFB 16 because this is the last pre-split episode and the episode that pretty much caused the split. But personally, I like the split. I thought it was a decent idea, and the episode that caused it is gonna get A tier, but above IDFB 1. Uh, I do have some complaints about this episode. About I feel like they could have introduced two a little bit better because well he kind of just showed up out of nowhere. Like that we got to see the eliminate contestants again. Like this episode is pretty good, but I don't think it's better than these three. Um, but yeah, that's gonna do it for this part of rating BFB episodes. Um, for the last couple minutes, I'm gonna make some minor changes that I think need to be made. Um, BGI 5C is just it just said it's a little too short for me. That's why I'm moving it down. Um, I mean, although I don't like this episode that much, I mean, it like reintroduced X to the series, and like that X came back in this episode. But so yeah, I think that's enough to bring it up to A tier. Um, but yeah, I kind of have nothing else to say about this. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the second and last part of Ranking BFB episodes. The next part, aka the final part of this three-part series, will be releasing in about an hour after this premieres. So yeah, hope you're excited, and yeah, see you guys next time.